Let's get at it. Hey, this is Steel Town Tony Brown running with the King here on Steeler Game Prep, and we are getting up and running. Just to let you know, there are a lot of things that I want to do. First of all, let me get my sound right so there ain't no echo because I need you to hear me clearly. Let's talk about some of the spin that's going on social media. I just want to point out, what did Ryan Clark really have to say about Mike Tomlin? You know, there's a lot of things on social media saying, oh, Ryan Clark said that Tomlin should leave the Steelers or the Steelers should get rid of Tomlin. That's far from the truth. What Ryan Clark is basically saying is that the message that Mike Tomlin is trying to preach to these young players, like teamwork, camaraderie, unselfishness, seems to be falling on deaf ears on certain types of players that are in it for themselves, whether it's passing for 5,000 yards, putting themselves above the team, or whether it's touchdown catches. It doesn't matter if the message is going stale. Sometimes it is easier to change the personnel than it is to change the head coach. Let me give you an example. Whether you want to use George Pickens or whether you want to use Chase Claypool, or even if you want to use the later version of Antonio Brown, the point is that it is easier to jettison that type of player to another team. Mike Tomlin's message is very, very unselfishness, hard work. If that is basically falling on deaf ears with the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Pittsburgh Steelers locker room, then what Ryan Clark is suggesting is that Mike Tomlin, as a great coach, should move on to another organization where that message is not stale. Don't let the AM radio people fool you and make it sound like Ryan Clark is going after Mike Tomlin. That's far from the truth. They will try to divide and conquer. That's not what Ryan Clark is saying. Ryan Clark is saying that the message is good, but where it's being delivered is bad. Now, I'm a big fan of Rooney, and I think Rooney has seen that. And I think that if you look at the draft that Omar Khan, Mike Tomlin, and the Rooneys have gone over the last couple of years, their players all have the same type of mental attitude. They even say it. We're drafting people who want to be Pittsburgh Steelers. We're drafting people who have the Pittsburgh Steeler mentality, the teamwork, the leadership. When people grade the draft, which we'll talk about later in our next episode with the panel, when we go over the draft and the season schedule, you'll find out that the people that are starting to fill up the building for the Pittsburgh Steelers are people who will receive the Steelers and Mike Tomlin's message correctly. You know, I know George Pickens is a very talented wide receiver, but what he did to the locker room and to the receiver room was detrimental to the Steelers' way of football. When we win our championships, there are leaders in the locker room, and that's what the Steelers need. Yes, they need playmakers, but they need leaders even more. This is Steel Town Tony Brown running with the King. You guys heard what I got to say. Get back at me. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to smash that like button, because if you need more smoke cleared, then you need to subscribe and smash the button. Peace.